JD here, and today we are looking at this. This is the Furibee H801, and it's a mini FPV racing copter. Alright, let's open her up and have a little look inside. And this is what we get in the package. Okay, so let's just move everything else to one side, and let's start off and have a little look at this. So this is the quad. It looks a lot like a squid from its head. You have a couple of eyes either side here. These are purely aesthetic. Now if we look at the main body of the quad, we have a 720p camera at the top here. Working up from that you have a little antenna. Let's just straighten that up a little bit. So then working our way down from the main body we have our 4 brushed motors. On top of these brushed motors we have 4 quad propellers. I quite like those, they stand out really quite well. Next to the quad propellers we have these almost, they look a lot like ducting, like fan ducting, but they are the propeller guards. Now the propeller guards themselves actually make up the main body of the quad. Underneath this hood here are all the electronics and the main body of the quad. These motor guards are part of the main body, therefore they can't be taken off. And to be honest, I don't even think I would want to take them off. They actually give the quadcopter a really nice look and a really nice feel to it. If we turn the quad upside down, we can see that we have our 4 brushed motors here. They have quite a nice gap either side, so you can have some proper air getting around and cooling down these motors. No doubt if you are really putting this thing to go, then these motors will get quite warm. Now coming off side some of these motors you have a couple of little cables here, especially on the front 2 motors. I'd be careful with those, just be on the safe side that there are cables there and they can be pulled, so just be very careful there. Now what you are going to notice, and one thing I noticed as soon as I took this out of the box, is that the body of the quadcopter moves a lot. Watch the back here, see? Now that is quite good that it moves. It has got 2 little clips, one here and one the other side. Now the reason that this is good when the body moves is because when you are performing 360 flips, when you're performing tight corners, and when you are increasing the speed and running through the different speed modes, you want the quadcopter to work with you and not against you. This little bit of movement here is going to ensure that the quadcopter moves with you rather than working against you. At the back of the quadcopter we have these aeration holes as well. That will just stop the electronics from getting too warm and sweating inside this plastic covering. All in all, I think that looks quite nice. It's really small, it is really small. I mean, look at that, it sits on the palm of my hand. I wonder how much it weighs. Now then, without the battery, we are looking at 27 grams without the battery. That's really, really light. Okay, let's pop the battery in. Let's see what we're looking at with the battery. 36, so 9 more grams with the battery. Now as we are talking about this battery, let's have a little look at it and see exactly what it is that we have got. We've got a 3.7 volt 260 milliamp hour battery. This takes 40 minutes to charge with the USB cable which is included. Now they do reckon you are going to get 6 minutes out of this battery. There's every possibility that you will. It is quite a small capacity battery, but still this is only a small, extremely light quadcopter with brushed motors, so there's a possibility that we are going to see that 6-minute mark, but we'll double check that when we take her out in the next couple of days. Now let's just have a little look. Let's just plug this cable in to the back and let's see what we get in the way of LEDs. Okay, so as soon as you plug the cable in, the quadcopter comes on. Blue LEDs in the back, red LEDs in the front. They look really quite bright. I think you'll be able to see those without any issue at all. There we go. That's nice. I like that quadcopter. Okay, let's put that to one side. And now let's have a little look at... Okay, now let's have a little look at this transmitter. Well, it's a really small standard nano quadcopter transmitter. Feels really quite nice, made of quite sturdy plastic. It has almost like a sandpaper effect on the palm rests either side. It fits quite nicely in hand. It is extremely small, but you can get to every single button with ease. And I quite like the fact that you can do that. Now, let's go through some of the functions and features of this quadcopter. Now, if we start off on the shoulder button, so on the left shoulder button first, if you long press, you have return to home. If you short press, you have headless mode. Over on the right throttle, over on the right shoulder button, if you push it once, then you get to do 360 stunts and flips. So I'm guessing you push that and then directional, and that is what will give you the 360 flips, but we'll give that a try when we take her out. Now from the front, if you push down the right analog stick, that is your speed switch. This has two different speeds, high and low, and if you push down the left analog stick there, you get one key start and one key landing from the same button. You can see that we have pitch, yaw and roll trim buttons here as well, the two here, the two here and the two here. There's also an on and off button, as well as a little red LED status light, which just gives you the status of the transmitter if it's on or off. Now, if we come around to the back, you'll see that we have our little battery bay. The battery bay takes three AAA batteries in order to function for this transmitter. This transmitter does not allow USB charging, so the batteries that go in here are going to have to be shortboard and fully charged. Now, as you can see, there's a little design on the back of this little battery bay. That is because we have an FPV boom. Now, I've got a couple of things to say about this FPV boom before I put it onto the transmitter. One of them is, I hate it. Now, the reason I hate it is because I'm very used to FPV boomers with springs that hold my phone in really well, nice little bit of foam on the bottom, and this guy, even though we've got the foam, this is not spring loaded. It's got a thumb screw which you have to turn, and then you have to pull really tight for you to alter the size of the FPV boom. Now with this, I don't like this sort of arrangement. With spring you get that tension. With this, you're going to have to make sure your phone is in there all the way, and you're going to have to tighten up the thumb screw at the back very, very tight in order for your phone to stay in there. Now, attaching to the transmitter is extremely easy. All you would do is push the FPV boom in until you hear a click, and then once you hear a click, you have a little button here that you push down to release the FPV boom. It is as simple as that. There we go. So click, and once it's in, it's in. Now you've got another thumb screw right here. This thumb screw alters the angle of the FPV boom. You can alter the angle up and also back, so you can actually see your FPV screen properly. Now I've got a problem with this thumb screw as well, and that is because it's encroaching on this thumb button here for 3D flips. Now 3D flips aren't the most important when flying a quadcopter, but as I've said in the past, it is a function, it is nice to use it, and I do think that this little thumb screw does take up a lot of this button here, so therefore it may be quite difficult to push this button down. But again, I'll address that again if I do find it to be quite difficult in the flight. Okay, so that is all in all, that is the transmitter. I like the transmitter, it's light, it's got a lot of control, it feels sturdy and it feels quite durable at the same time. So there we are, I'm going to put that to one side. Now we've got the accessory pack. So obviously the accessory pack consists of 4 spare propellers. These are push propellers, by the way. Just push them on and then they're on nice and tight. There's no screws. And a little USB cable there as well, just to charge the battery. Now there is one other thing I want to look at in this video, and that is the application that you can use with this particular quadcopter. And that application is called the Furibee app. Press connect. Now we should start getting video relay back. There we go. Yes, we do. Right, there's the my very nice radiator. Now let's just go through some of these features. So as you can see, running across the top, we have a lot of different buttons. Starting off this side, we have take a photo, record video. Then we have a folder icon. Now this folder is where you would get all your pictures and all your videos from. Then we have a speed control, 30, 60 and 100%. Even though this particular quad only has 2 speed modes, the app comes with 3. The next one is altitude hold. The altitude hold one for the second is greyed out. It's only accessible when you have enabled the transmitter to be used, the phone to be used as a transmitter. The next one across from altitude hold, this is to use your phone's built-in gyro so that you can control your quadcopter. So forward would be forward, back would be backward, etc. If you click the off button, that then turns to on, and then we have a lot of controls here that we can then start to use to control our quadcopter. We have trim buttons at the bottom and up the side for your roll and pitch. Now once you have turned on the application, when you have turned on the thumbsticks, if you are to then click altitude hold, you get a load more options for one key takeoff, one key landing, for plotting your course. So you can click that and then draw a pattern, and the quadcopter should then follow that, and then emergency stop right at the bottom. And then finally we have settings where you can calibrate the gyro of the quadcopter, and you can also use a VR headset should you prefer to. So that is just a little overview of the application so that you are aware of what it looks like for when you come to use it. So all in all, folks, this is everything that we get inside the box. So we have the quadcopter, the transmitter, the FPV boom, the 4 spare propellers, the small battery, and our USB charging cable as well as we do get a small manual with it also. So there we are, folks. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.